nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all. It's your buddy Big John and G, the two gut Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. Hello and welcome back to another Midday Monologue Monday, my friends, where I get to just chat about something, and for some reason, you all put up with this mug and this voice for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Seriously, good to see you all back. And also welcome to any new subscribers that we have. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. You know, we have a video every day, and every Monday you can check out a new monologue. All the monologues have something to do about, I don't know, board games. And this particular one, I've been talking about, I've been dropping videos about building your board game collection. By pretty much genre. I've been breaking it down, your fantasy games, your sci-fi games. And now I think it's time to talk about hosting a board game night. There's a few things that, if you're new to this, you might not have considered. So hopefully I'll be able to inform you on a couple of cool ideas. All right, why don't we just get right down to the table and jump right into this. How's it going? So you're planning on putting together a board game evening. You want to host a game night. Excellent. It doesn't matter if you own one game, 10 games, or more than 100 games. You love gaming. You have friends that love gaming. This is a great thing to do. I've always enjoyed this, the camaraderie feeling that I get from sitting at the table with some good friends, chit-chatting during the game, while just enjoying the game itself, the tabletop adventure that we're partaking in. It's great. It doesn't matter if it's a competitive game or a cooperative game. That doesn't matter. You're with friends and you're enjoying yourselves. So there's a few things, if you haven't hosted a game night, or maybe you have but you kind of feel like something went wrong somewhere. There's a few things that I try to keep in mind that I thought I would share with you. Now, if there's anything I miss, I would enjoy if you put some notes in the comments section to let me know. And let everyone else know, too, what you think are good things to do or keep in mind when you're hosting for a game night. Now, obviously, you're going to have a date for this. That should go without saying. I think everyone should know that at some point in this process, you're going to be setting up a date. But, so, moving past that really obvious concept, one thing I want to say that may sound obvious, but sometimes can be easily forgotten, is know your guests, know the game. Sometimes different individuals prefer different games. Sometimes a person may not like a certain game and therefore they're not going to have fun, and that's eventually, in some way, eventually going to bring everyone else a little bit down at the table as well. So you're not trying to alienate people, and you're not trying to alienate games that you're able to play. Just know the right mix. And when you do, you're going to find that the game is practically going to play itself with you. You see, now what I mean by that is there are some individuals that may enjoy the long 3-4 hour long campaign style games. Some of your friends may enjoy that, but others may not. So you're obviously not going to want two such polar opposite ideas of having fun or not having fun at this game. It is going to limit sometimes to a degree, but the more games you have and the better you know your friends and family, then the better you're going to be able to make this choice. And this way, everyone is going to have a much better time at the gaming table. Now, another thing I like to keep in mind when I'm hosting a game day or game day, doesn't matter what time you're doing this, is I like to keep in mind the environment. And that means a few different things, from the setting up of the gaming table, making sure that maybe there's anything lying around that I think may improve the visual effects of the game. Maybe sometimes even something like the right game mat, or just a tablecloth that matches the theme or the genre of the game can really help bring something else to life, so to speak. That extra little visual boost that reminds you of the theme of the game. Now, along with the environment, I mean everything around you. So that includes more than just the visual sense. Perhaps there's some good background music that you found, or a movie soundtrack that you really enjoyed that fits the setting and the genre that would make a really good piece to play in the background. Now, this is great. I've often done it myself, but you have to remember the balance between the sounds of the music or sound effects. Maybe you're playing sound effects tracks, the level of volume versus the level of volume of the table that people are speaking at and able to listen and hear things at. So try to keep the music and the sound effects, anything like that you're doing, keep it low enough for people to talk but still be able to hear that. There's a few other weird things I've seen out there. There's some scent boxes, some scent things. I know Tommy V got me a few years ago, and they still work great. And each of them is very specific for something like a wizard tower or a tavern. And these particular ones, you shake up, and then you open up the container and you just put it on the center of the table, and it's gonna make things smell actually pretty accurate for the ones he got me. Now that's a little extreme. I don't always do it myself, but it's just another thing to remember. The environment around you is more than what you're just seeing. Your hearing, your smell can all come into play if you're trying to make the environment of the gaming table and the experience, trying to make it a level up, if you will. Now, also environment, under that I would say falls things like snacks and drinks. Now, these are great to have. You can be playing for a few hours, hopefully at least a few hours. You're going to be playing a game, several games of a game, or maybe several different games. So you're going to naturally want to eat something. You know yourself, and you know the friends, family members that you're inviting over for game day. And if you don't, find out what they like to snack on. Now, in the old days, it didn't matter. We just got tons of bags of like Doritos and and Cheetos. I don't know how I'm still alive. And tons of grape soda or something, and that was the whole day. That's all we ate or drank, which is horrible. But I have to admit, sometimes on game day, I still go for the junk food. Not everyone does. So perhaps maybe you're going to want some carrot sticks out, apple slices, things like that. But more importantly than the food, some would argue I'm wrong on this, more importantly than the food and the drink is a place to put it. I would suggest some side tables, maybe some of the small folding tables that can be put at the ends of the table that you're gaming on, so that the players can put down their drinks and their snacks. Also have some napkins out, because if the snacks are going to be getting your fingers sticky and gooky and icky, and you're not going to want them touching your game cards or your board or anything like that. And you're not going to want to touch it yourself. So have some napkins ready, but keep everything off the game table. Accidents happen. You're not really, always in control or something like that. So in order to kind of bring that down, accidents and things, have the drinks on a side table. Have the drinks there. Maybe a side table if you got a table where there's two on each side, then one in the end, one in the end, then maybe you want to put a little side table in between two players on one side. and then something on the other ends for the one-off players. There's ways around this. Just, you know your environment. You know where the gaming room is. You know your table is set up. So it's hard for me to tell you exactly how to do this. But if possible, yes, try to keep drinks and snacks off the table and keep napkins handy for everyone. Now, remember, you're the host of this, which means more than just drinks and snacks. You're hosting the game night. So unless someone in your group is bringing a game over from their own collection that everyone is playing, remember, if this is a game of yours, know the rules. At least know the rules well enough that you're able to explain it to the rest of your friends and be able to get through the game with that knowledge and going through the rule book when you need it. Make sure everyone at least knows the basics of the game that you're playing. That's definitely going to help run the entire night. It's going to be smooth. And let's face it, you wouldn't want to go to someone's place for a game night to play a brand new game that you never heard of but sounds awesome, and you get there and they're bumbling through the game rules for 15-20 minutes, and then there's all these little breaks in between the game to verify this rule and that rule. I get it. It's a good game. You wanted to hit the table as soon as you could. But this is leaving a bad taste in my mouth. So please, I've done it. I'm guilty of that myself. So I'm not picking on anyone. But please, know enough of the rules so everyone is comfortable starting the game. Now, this is a rare thing, but I think it's something that you should keep in mind. Run a few scenarios in your head so it doesn't take you as much by surprise as it may. But besides being host, you're also going to have to play referee. Hopefully you know your family and or friends enough that you know who to invite that's not going to be starting a fight. You don't want that rule lawyer, alpha gamer sitting at the table dominating everything. And if for some reason one of the players ends up that way anyway, unexpectedly, or this individual showed up, whatever, you're going to have to play referee. Not just with the game, but if one individual pisses off another in your gaming group outside of the game, you're going to have to know how to diffuse problems. Get everyone to calm down, chill out, take a deep breath, and then get back to the game. Or determine if it's completely ruined and what's going to happen moving forward. You have a lot of decisions to make. I have only once ever actively kicked someone out in the middle of a game. As far as I can remember, that's only ever happened once. Any other time where things have gotten too disruptive, I've waited to the end of the game day, and in almost every single one of these cases, it's not just me, it was the rest of the group coming up to me, after the game individually, or sending me emails at some point afterwards saying, "John, this person's not working. I can't play if this person's going to be here." So it can be rough. Run through a few scenarios in your head. You should do that for anything that you think could possibly come up in your life, not just for this. But speaking of this specifically, if you don't know how to handle the situation, you definitely want to run some scenarios through your head and see what starts to feel comfortable to you. Because you might just have to play referee to your friends outside the game rules. And incidentally, as far as the game rules go, get ready to possibly have to house rule some things. And as long as everyone, or at least the majority or the great majority of everyone playing at the table, agree with the house rules, then you're going to have a fun time. That's what it's about. And this isn't even on my notes. Let me just say this right now. And you should know this if you know me by now. Just play to have fun. Will ya? Just play to have fun. Yeah, it's nice to win. It sure freaking is nice to win. But you can still have fun if you lose. Could be a TPK. You can still have had fun. So don't forget that. Now, let's say you pull that all together and you guys all had a great and fun time. and everyone's enjoyed the evening. Well, that's when the guys and the girls get together, at my suggestion, and talk about the game you just played with each other. Strategies that work, strategies that didn't work, and this could possibly help improve the next game forward if you enjoyed the game well enough that you're going to play another once then, or maybe sometime later, another day or whatever. But this does it. It helps you think about the game, think about the strategies, improve yourselves. Something worked for one player but not another. Talk about it. Sit down and talk about it. It's also going to, how can I put this? It's going to cement the game, the session, and the bonding experience in your mind a little bit more than just rushing out the door or rushing right into the next game. Take your time. Take a breath. Let's talk about the game for a moment. You also, at the end of the game night, might want to discuss the next game night. While everyone's still there, or at least the majority of everyone is still there, who's going to host? Is it going to be you again? Someone else? And maybe even discuss what game you're going to play next. Especially if the host of the game night has a large collection. It can be both easy and difficult. Right? It could be easy because there's so much there, you know there's a good chance of something you have played before and enjoyed, or haven't played and wanted to try, your friend may have. But then at the same time, too many choices can sometimes just lock your mind up and you can't make a decision. So on that, I would say that the host of the game should have a couple of suggestions ready to throw in. And this will get everyone else started. This will get them thinking. They've now heard some suggestions. It kind of disrupts the mind lock a little bit, and they'll be able to think of something that they think will be a good game to play. You might as well get the ball rolling on this at the end of the game night before everyone leaves, and this way you already know what you're putting together for the next night, or whoever's going to be hosting. It gives them an idea of what they're putting together. Now, on a side note, one thing I want to mention, which I shouldn't really have to mention about this, and this isn't the gaming in general, this is just host and guest etiquette. A good host is never going to let their guests clean up. A good host is never going to let them throw the garbage away, do the dishes. No, no, no. I don't care how good of an old friend you are, family. A good host just doesn't do this. The host will do it themselves. Okay, that's just a little side note about hosting. You know, ultimately, the perfect guest is going to be as invisible as possible to their host to not disrupt the host's life. Now, the tricky balance is the host's job is to make sure that the guest is as comfortable and happy as possible. So you see how neither side can 100% get what it's trying to do to be polite. There is a tricky balance there. But one thing is, hosts don't let guests clean up. Okay? Do it yourself. And there you go. There are some of my top ideas if you are going to be a host to a game night that you may want to take in consideration. Now, as I asked in the beginning of the video, do you think that there's anything that I forgot? Anything that you do that you think should have been on this list? Because if so, I want to know. Anything that can make me a better host in general for anything, but specifically for my great love, then I want to know what that is. My goal not only is to have a good game, a fun gaming experience, but everyone, just in general, enjoy themselves. So any piece of advice I will take with, I'll gladly take the medicine of that and take it under advisement and see how well it fits for me and my group. But still, put it down there. Let me know what I'm missing. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm your buddy Big Giant G for Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming, and I am out of here.